Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Um, we are moving forward, upward, and onward. Okay. We've been able to share the topic we should do next, and majority carry the vote. Okay. We have trigonometry part one. Okay, straight to the point, so that I don't waste much time on talking. But I needed to say this. Um, you are going through some of our parts, some of our topics. Please try to encourage us, like, comment, and share so that we can reach a lot of young minds. Very, very important. Okay? Because the reason we are doing this is for young minds to see that mathematics is interesting and they can study this at their comfort zone. Okay? So, trigonometry, ratios. Okay? Trigonometry, part one, and the trigonometric ratios. Now, if we are talking about trigonometric ratios, we need to work with a right angle triangle. Okay, so if there's any need, I can still illustrate this. Okay, using a layman illustration so that you can get the understanding. It's not about writing on the board all the time. Okay, so from what you can see on the board, we have three conditions before you can generate formulas for the trigonometric ratios. Okay, it must be a right angle triangle. It must be a right angle triangle. That is, it must be a right angle triangle. This is what we mean by a right angle triangle. Look at this. This is a y-axis. This is x-axis. Y-axis, x-axis. Okay, where the x-axis meets the y-axis is what we call right angle triangle, a straight line. The points at which y-axis meets the x-axis on a straight line, okay, is what we call right angle triangle. And that is what you see here. This is a symbol. This is a symbol for right angle triangle. Okay, and don't forget where this symbol, which is this right angle triangle, this is y, this is x, and they meet at this point. They meet at this point here, okay, and at that point that they meet is the right angle triangle, and where this right angle triangle is facing is what we call hypotenuse. Okay, where this right angle triangle is facing the side, okay, is the longest line so far. That is what we call hypotenuse. Is equal to hypotenuse. Okay, and it's represented by small f. Very simple. So it's not hard at all. One thing you should note that where y-axis meets x-axis, that angle, that point is called right angle triangle, which is this. This is x-axis, this is y-axis. Okay, now where that right angle is facing, this angle is facing the side, is what we call hypotenuse. Okay, and that hypotenuse is represented by what? Small f. Very simple. Okay, now we are assuming angle G to be what? Theta. This is angle. The normal trend that you know is ABC, okay, and this and that. What in an exam? What if in an exam is being changed? The alphabet is being changed. Like I told you, you can use any alphabet in mathematics. So that was why I didn't want to use the normal trend, which is ABC. No, I had to move to EFG for you to know that it can be changed in an exam. Okay, very simple. So we are assuming an angle G to be what? Theta. This angle to be what? Theta. Now, the side that this angle is facing is always called what? Opposite in a right angle triangle. The side that this angle is facing, this angle G is facing, is called what? Opposite. That is how you can identify your opposite. Okay, so that is how you can identify your what? Your opposite. And obviously, the last one is called adjacent. Adjacent. I hope I'm correct. Okay, so the last one is called what? Adjacent. Very simple. Where the right angle is facing is called what? Hypotenuse, represented by small f. Where the angle G is facing, this angle, I can bring this angle here. I can say angle E. It's not compulsory. That is why I'm saying assuming angle G to be what? Theta. I can assume angle E to be another thing. And because that angle is facing this side, I can make it. So you should understand the reason why this is this, this is that. That is what will help you under this what? Under this section. Very important. Okay. So this angle where it's facing is what? Opposite. And the last one is called what? Adjacent. Very, very simple. I had to come and introduce it here because young minds, students, they think, they misplace all those things, like opposite, adjacent, where is hypotenuse. So the longest line is what we call hypotenuse, and it's facing the right angle. Okay. Where the angle is facing is what we call what? Opposite. Why the last one will be what? Adjacent. Of course, if you remember hypotenuse, if you can identify hypotenuse, you can identify opposites, then to identify adjacent will be very easy. Note, now the side facing the right angle is what? Hypotenuse, which is I've mentioned. Very simple. And we already know what we call SOHCAHTOA. SOHCAHTOA. Okay. So at least if you want to remember the opposite hypotenuse for sin theta, for cos theta, if you notice, some of my questions I've been trying to introduce trigonometry, okay, so that you can understand. It won't be new to you. Okay, like the last question share is under this part, SOHCAHTOA. Now, this SOHCAHTOA is very, very important. I know this right from, should I say secondary school or SS1 or thereabout? Okay, you can also do the same. Know it, SOHCAHTOA. What is the meaning of SOHCAHTOA? This is it here. This S for so. So is the same thing as what? Sine theta. We are looking at this theta. So don't forget, in an exam, it might not be theta, it might be T, it might be M, it might be any alphabet. It's not compulsory that it's going to be theta all the time. It might be beta. Okay, so if it's not theta, it can be beta, it can be anything. It depends on what the examiner wants. So for so is what? Sine theta equals O is representing what? Opposite. Okay, H is representing what? Hypotenuse. This is exactly what I said. We are not rushing. We want to ensure that we break it down. We give you a layman description so that at the end of the day, if you're in the exam hall, you will be able to remember vividly what you are supposed to do. Okay, now, this is so. So means what? S means what? Sine theta, which is this angle here. In the exam, it might be T, it might be beta, you might just know that it can change. So O here means what? Opposite. H here means what? Hypotenuse. Okay, so from here now, look at the angle, look at the right angle triangle that was drawn above. Look at it. Where's my opposite? This is my opposite, and it's represented by what? G. So it means this one is G over. Okay, where's my hypotenuse? This is my hypotenuse. It's represented by what? F. It's as simple as that. So simple, just like chin chin and what? And pure water. Though my son don't want me to be saying chin chin and pure water, but I can't remember the one is saying. Okay, easy peasy and the rest. So now this is very simple. Okay, sine theta equals what? Opposite over what? Hypotenuse. Okay, opposite over hypotenuse. Very, very simple. Now, at the end of the day, we can also have our car, which is CAH. Okay, our car, which is what? CAH, to be, that's A there. A is representing adjacent. Okay, H there is representing what? Hypotenuse. Very simple. Okay, so that is C is what? Cos theta equals adjacent over what? Hypotenuse. So it's not compulsory you write all the hypotenuse. We have short way of writing them. Okay, but for the sake of the first time, that's why we are writing it in full. Hypotenuse is HIP, adjacent is AJJ. Okay, now the first three alphabets. So where's my adjacent here? My adjacent is what? E. It's represented by E from the figure above. Then my hypotenuse is what? F. Small letter F. Very simple. Then the last one, which is what? Toa. So ka toa. Toa. Toa equals what? That's tan theta. Tan theta equals opposite over adjacent. Adjacent. So what's my opposite there? My opposite here is what? G. O means what? Opposite. A means what? Adjacent. So what's my adjacent? My adjacent is what? E. Very simple. So you can see that we've been able to get our sine theta, our cos theta, and our tan theta from the right angle triangle. Please, I know a lot of people are learning from this, okay? Please ensure you like, you comment, and you share. We need to reach a lot of young minds. Let them see that they can learn mathematics at their comfort zone, or they can study mathematics at their comfort zone. Very, very important. If you're learning from this particular online mathematics teaching and you're not sharing, you're not liking, I think that is not fair enough. Okay, so we want you to share, continue to like, continue to comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you very much. So in part 2, we'll be solving 1 or 2 questions under this part so that we can understand it very well. Thank you very much. Cheers.